Well, hello everybody. It's raining today, or it's been raining off and on. It's all wet and nasty out there. I had to cover up my cabinet that I've not finished yet so it doesn't get wet, even though it's on the patio. The rain has been coming under it. But I decided we'd get on here and we'd cook some potato soup. Now, this is not going to be the gluten-free potato soup that I fixed in a previous video. So if you're interested in seeing the gluten-free potato soup, go back and find that recipe. This one does have milk, cheese, and that type of thing in it. So if you're wanting a gluten-free soup, this is not going to be it. Let me turn my heat off so it doesn't make a noise in the video. And I had to get me some green tea with citrus. You know, it's got lemon and lime, so that helps me with my coughing. Put that over here. Anyway, we're going to start out with putting a little bit of olive oil. Not much. You don't need much at all. We're going to start heating our pan. And this is one of the new pans that one of my subscribers sent. It's really neat. It's the Greystone granite stone, which is supposed to be really good cookware. Now, I know a lot of you have had trouble and you fuss with peeling garlic. So I break mine into cloves. I put them down on my cutting board and I squish them. Doesn't have to be much, but I forgot to cut the end of it off. Cut the little end, you know, the end that hooks to the whole pod. And I'll guarantee you when you go to peel your garlic clove, that skin will come right off. But yeah, cut off that end that went to the whole clove, you know, the whole bunch of garlic, and it'll break away easier. But that garlic skin comes off so much easier, especially if you have a small clove of garlic. And I'm just throwing it in my scrap bowl over here. I've already peeled my potatoes. And I'm using red potatoes for this. Because I wanted to go ahead and use them up because their eyes are starting to pop out on them. And it's not the time of year to plant potatoes. So I'm trying to use them up. But while I got like a small chopped onion here. I'm going to put in the pan. And as soon as I get my garlic chopped, I'm going to put that in there as well. And again, remember to cut the end off where it was attached to the complete bulb of garlic. Even the smallest of the garlics will peel away so much better if you do that. Just chop the end off. And this is not the pointy end, it's the point that attached to the whole bulb. But in doing that, it pulls the whole, basically the whole peeling away from the garlic. So it comes off so much easier. And it still sticks to your hands, but not a whole lot you can do about that. And I'm just going to kind of mince it up. And I'm going to put that in my pot as well. My minced fresh garlic. We're just going to kind of saute it a little bit. We don't want to burn it. But if you saute it, you know, any chef will tell you sauteing your onions brings out the more flavor, a better flavor in your onion than it does if you just chop it up in a big pot full of food. And garlic is the same way. I was wondering if you could see me over here. You know what? I'm going to put my pot on the back burner. That way you can see me over here what I'm doing. I bought this package of, it's kind of just ham. It's smoked slices and pieces of ham. It's not a whole, I don't know if you can see that, but that's what I use in my soups, my omelets and stuff like that, if I don't have a big ham. It's a lot cheaper to buy your ham this way. I mean, see, you get some pretty big slices of ham here. I mean, so it's not like it's bad pieces of ham or anything. But it's the best in the world to get to, and I cut a lot of the fat, the gristle stuff out of it. I guess if you need to, you can enlarge the picture. I mean, I'll leave some of it on there, but the great big old chunks, I don't like the fat. And I just kind of cut them in squares, kind of. I mean, you can cut it any way you want. I'm going to throw them right in there with my onions and my garlic. Make sure you don't have it too hot because we don't want to burn it. Because you know it doesn't take much. But look at the slice of ham. See, it's not little bitty pieces, and you get it so much cheaper to do it that way. I mean, to buy it this way. If you don't want to go to the expense of buying a big ham. You know, if you just want it in soup, stuff like that. Some of it may be smaller pieces, but that's okay. Because we want it in our soup. We don't, you know, we're not being fancy with it. See, I'm even pulling the fat off. I don't even have to cut it. You can pull it apart, break it, because this is already cooked. Just like the spiral ham you get, it's cooked already. Oh man, look at the size of this. This is a big piece. But I want it in little pieces because, you know, I'm making soup. I don't want great big chunks in there. I mean, not too big anyway. Some people may like the big chunks. I don't. I'm cutting most of that fat off of the edge. That goes in the scrap pile to go out in the compost. And I'm only using about half of this package. And I'll put that in another container later. Get this out of the way. Now I can move it back out here. I've got my ham in there cooking or browning a little bit because the ham is just like the onions and the garlic. To bring out the best flavor in that ham, you need to brown it just a tiny bit. I'm going to have quite a bit to go in the compost pile, that's for sure. Put my package of ham right down in this container. And at that point, I can either freeze it, or I could just put it in the refrigerator for use in another recipe. It only takes a few minutes for it to brown. I'm hoping you can see it. That's the only reason I don't like cooking in a pot, because you can't see down in there. I mean, I'll bring it a little closer so you can see what's in there. Maybe I can do it this way. That might be a little better. I've got a can of cream of chicken soup. I'm going to dump it in there if I can get it out. Put in a couple of cans of water. I'm going to add about, I don't know, about a half a can of evaporated milk. And I may even put in a little bit of extra water, because I dilute my milk down when I put it in there like that. I'm going to add my chopped celery, and that's about 2 pretty good sized stalks of celery chopped. You can put more if you like. I've got like 5 medium-sized red potatoes, and they're chopped. I like smaller pieces. You can see that, you know, to go in my soup. They've already been washed and drained off. I need to disconnect that house phone. I don't need a house phone. We'll put a little bit of salt. You don't need much because you got that ham. I'll turn my heat up on high, and I want it to come to a boil. Because as soon as the celery and those potatoes are cooked, guess what? It's time to eat your soup. And I'm going to put in cheese. I've got medium cheddar cheese. You can put sharp cheddar, whatever kind you want. I just happen to have this on hand. I get it open. And this is just an 8-ounce bag. It's not really hot enough to even melt my cheese yet. But that's not too many ingredients. And if you buy that kind of ham, if you make soups, or you just want to make omelets with a little piece of ham, you know, a little diced ham in it, that's a good way to buy it. Because it's so much cheaper than buying a great big old ham. It's going to be so good, y'all. And I want to taste it just for the spices in it. It's right on the money. And y'all know it does not take long for potatoes to cook. But I used 1 can of cream of chicken soup, and I'm going to end up with a whole big pot full of potato soup from it. Now, like I said, I'm going to let it boil until my potatoes and my celery is tender. As soon as that happens, your soup is ready to eat. And I'll bring you back. Well, I'm back. I'm going to check on my soup. It looks really good. Check to see if my potatoes are done. If you can get it to the side and cut it with your spoon, you know it's done. Now, one thing I did add, I had a little can of corn, not cream corn, but just regular corn, and I added the corn into that. So it kind of gives it a flavor of corn chowder plus your potato soup. So, and I've just incorporated about a tablespoon of flour into some water and broke it down so I don't have lumps. I'm going to put that in there because I want it to be creamy. I mean, it's already somewhat creamy, but I want it creamier than what it is. So I'm adding just that little heaping tablespoon of flour that I incorporated in water, and I've just added it to the mixture, and that'll that'll thicken it up a little bit. And if it thickens too much, just add water. But it doesn't take it long to do that. I'll turn my heat back up, because you want to cook that flour just a little bit. You don't want a floury taste. You want your flour to be cooked. And I love serving this either with cornbread, cornbread muffins, garlic toast even, crackers. If you prefer to eat your soup with crackers, you know, it's good with crackers. I'm going to eat mine with crackers today, I think. I can find my tea over here. And I'm loving this pot. It came with the set that the subscriber sent to me. Some people like even garden peas in their soup. Sometimes if I have them on hand, I will dump about a cup of garden peas in my potato soup. It's just whatever you like. I just happen to have that cup of corn, so I decided I'd utilize it and put it in my soup. Because I love corn chowder anyway. Now we're just going to simmer it a little bit, and you don't need a high heat. We're just going to simmer it a little bit till the moisture thickens and it cooks that flour just a tiny bit. Because this is supposed to be a creamy soup. And I don't like putting overabundance of gluten products in there, like sour cream and heavy creams and all that. I think that it's about a half a can of evaporated milk was plenty. I mean, if you'd rather have sour cream or half and half or heavy whipping cream, be my guest, pour it in there. I don't need mine that rich. I think it's fine just like it is. I'm going to turn it down. Turn it up just a tiny bit. I want it to simmer a little a low boil, put it that way. I mean, my gluten-free potato soup, if you'll look back on the previous videos, has no milk, has no cheese. And it's still a really good soup. We're just going to simmer it for a couple of minutes. It'll thicken up a tiny bit. And if you don't want to use flour to thicken it, you can put a little bit of cornstarch. Or baking, what is it, baking powder? Cornstarch? I think most people use cornstarch. I've got it, but I usually just throw a little flour in there to thicken my gravy or any of that stuff up. But I figured potato soup would come in real good today. Comfort food on a rainy day. Drizzly, rainy day with no sunshine. That looks and smells so good, y'all. I'm glad I decided to cook it today. I wanted to finish my cabinet, but I can't get out there to it, so. See how creamy it's getting? I love it creamy like that. What I love about these pots is they can go right in the oven. Like if you want to cook something in the pot in the oven, you can put it right in the oven. Okay, our soup is done. And I made a mess. I always do. I get it everywhere. I got my Christmas centerpiece on my table. And I'm just going to eat mine with a few crackers. I'm going to have a few crackers and drink the rest of my tea. I don't like the way it's showing. But if it's a rainy day where you're at, and if you got the ingredients to make you some potato soup, make you some potato soup and join me. I never was good at getting these things open. I mean, I can usually tear them open, but then the whole pack rips sideways and every which way but the way it's supposed to. And I end up with a mess. Oh, it looks so good, but it's so hot. Oh my God. I want to eat it, but it's so hot. I'm going to give you all the first mouthful. Open wide. Steaming hot. Dear Lord, bless this food I'm about to eat. Bless everybody out there. Make them safe, keep them happy, keep them warm. Amen. Hmm. Hmm. Woo. It was fine until I bit in that potato, and that potato was scorching hot on the inside. But that is so good, y'all. Eat your cracker. You can always add more salt if needed. I don't need any more salt in here. Or you can add pepper if you like pepper. Mmm. So I guess I could call this my potato corn chowder. Mmm. Woo. That is just so good, y'all. Y'all come join me. Mmm. Mm-mm. That is some good eating there, y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye now. Fix you some potato soup, put some corn in it. Make you some potato corn chowder. See you later. Bye.